We are very happy that you talking today. It's an honor.
Thank you.
Dr. Weissman, just wanted to start with one question. If you could tell us a little bit more about and what motivated you to start science, and if you think about students, female and male, that are considering science, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, so when I have to think back why I started science, it was so long ago I don't remember. I just always remember when I was young, when I was growing up, I was interested in science and engineering. I was interested in understanding on how things worked, on what made things work, on just understanding everything around me. And from that, I just grew a love for science and never stopped. So my route was unusual for most researchers because Katie and I went pretty much unnoticed for our research for nearly 20 years, but we never gave up, and we always thought that it had the potential. And then once it caught on, once people realized how useful it was, the pandemic made it really big time, and it suddenly exploded. So typically science doesn't work like that in somebody's career. People are interested, and they're always interested, and they stay interested to the end. With us, it was really we were ignored, and people weren't interested in what we were doing, and then everything exploded. So what you have to understand, what a vaccine does is it exposes your immune system to something foreign. And that could be a virus, it could be a bacteria, it could be just about anything that you wanted to make an immune response against. RNA is different from most other vaccines. So the typical vaccines that people get are inactivated viruses. That's the influenza vaccine, where they grow up influenza virus in eggs and then kill the virus and stick it into people's arms. And they're seeing a virus that can't replicate, so they make an immune response against it. Sometimes it's a purified protein. Tetanus toxoid is kind of the classic example. You purify tetanus toxoid, inactivate it, and then put it in somebody's arm, and they make an immune response. What we're doing is we're giving the nucleic acid. So the way nucleic acid works is that our DNA has the code for every protein in every biologic process. So everything that our cells and then those combined our body does is controlled by our DNA. The way you get from a DNA to the protein is with an mRNA intermediate. The mRNA makes a copy of one code in the DNA, and then it brings that to a machine known as a ribosome that reads the code and makes a protein. So the RNA is really the middleman, and the vaccine we made supplies the message that goes to the ribosome and makes a protein. And then the body recognizes that protein as foreign and makes an immune response against it.
When we look at the students again, and we look at science, there are still so many more male doctors than female doctors. Do you think that's changing and more women will start being more interested and there will be more balance?
So in medical schools now, in just about every medical school I've been to across the world, females outnumber males in medical school. So it certainly is correcting itself. The problem is when you look up in the leadership of the hospitals, and they're still mainly male dominated. In 20 years, is that going to change over? I hope so. But, one of the people I met up in Stockholm was Claudia Golden, who was an economist who wrote about why women are treated poorly. And, she's not so sure that will ever change or how it's going to change.
How has the Nobel Prize changed your life?
It really hasn't, because I've been traveling all over the world for many years. It certainly has given me a bigger mouthpiece to get my message across. But other than that, it hasn't changed much.
Thank you. One last question, Rim. I know we are over time.
I think that's all of the questions I have.
Great. Well, it's been great talking to you.
Thank you so much for talking.
Thank you so much. We're really honored. Thank you for spending some time with us. Thank you.
Take care.
Vandalos.